Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kat. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of like review, a book review, and just kind of my thoughts and feelings about a fan fiction I just read. I finished it last week. It's pretty popular and well known. It's called Manacled by Senlinyu, and it is basically a Draco Malfoy and Hermione Granger fanfic. I do want to give spoilers for this video. It is going to be pretty spoiler heavy. If you have not read this, then please stop, because as I go through my review and thoughts and whatnot, I am going to be mentioning parts of the story that probably will spoil the story. So if you have not read it, just a warning right now, if you have intentions of reading it, do not watch this video. This is my first fan fiction. I've never read fan fiction. It wasn't really a world that I was interested in going into, but I've heard so much about this. I've heard it's dark, but it's also really good and emotionally heavy. And I don't know what made me want to read it, but I was like, okay, cool, let's give it a try. It's free, it's online. And I read that in like 3 days. I don't even know what to say. I did not rate this story because I can't. I feel like I just cannot. I can't rate it. I can't. It's so emotional. There's so much emotion in this story that it's just hard. How do you rate emotion? If you have not read Manacled, it's basically, like I said, a Draco Malfoy fanfic. It's after the war, Harry Potter dies, almost everybody in the Order of the Phoenix dies, Voldemort, Death Eaters, they win. And it's basically a dark Harry Potter meets Handmaid's Tale. If you are planning to read this story, I do really want to give some trigger warnings for SA. That's a big theme in this story. Depression, anxiety, PTSD are some that come in mind, and violence, abuse. So just keep in mind of a lot of trigger warnings. This is a very dark story. It's not just a cute little fluffy romance story between everyone's favorite characters. No, it is very dark and very grim. This story was so emotionally traumatizing. Like, I honestly wish I could just erase this whole story from my mind. Like, I really wish I could just erase it because I was so emotionally traumatized. But Senlinyu is a masterclass writer. A masterclass writer. The way she conveys emotion and feeling, especially that of depression and grief and loss and longing, like, these are some heavy emotions, and the way she has our characters go through them and feel them is unlike anything I've ever read. I've read books that were emotional and the characters are going through the emotions, and the author usually does a good job conveying that, but then there's Senlinyu. And she did such an incredible job with bringing these emotions and how it feels to go through loss. Like, Hermione loses all her friends. Like, they all die. That's not just, okay, my friends are dead, let's move on with life. No, that's a heavy loss. And Senlinyu does a great job showing that in the story. I also have some notes here of the story, so I'm just going to be kind of going through it. And these are just like my thoughts of the story. The beauty of this story to me was that you have this war, right? You have this war, you have such a dark world. There's the part that happens during the war when the Order of the Phoenix and Voldemort's army, they're all fighting, and then there's the part after the war when Hermione goes with the High Reeve, aka Draco Malfoy, as part of their repopulation program. And both are such dark moments of Hermione's life. It's so, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like love in the time of war. Like, you have these terrible dark things happening in the story, but then you have two people who love each other and are literally willing to do, when I say literally willing to do anything for each other, I mean it. Sacrifice for each other, die for each other, like all of that. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's very dark, but in this story it's very beautiful because there are worse things that are happening in the backdrop. I also was listening to Chemtrails Over the Country Club by Lana Del Rey. Beautiful song. Do not listen to this song and read this story at the same time unless you want to dry your tear ducts out. The line I really liked was, "You're in the wind, I'm in the water, nobody's son, nobody's daughter," from the Lana Del Rey song. And that line, those lyrics just apply to Draco and Hermione so well. Every time I listen to Chemtrails Weather Country Club, all I think about is those lyrics, and every time I hear those lyrics, I instantly think of Manacled. The part that really broke me, and I'm sure a lot of the readers can also sympathize because I'm sure it broke them too, is the very last line. She was a non-active member of the Order of the Phoenix and did not fight. That line pertains to Hermione. When I read that line, everything hit me at once. Like, all the emotions just hit me, and I felt like I was crushing under the weight of all these emotions. Because, like, what do you mean she did not fight? What do you mean she did not fight? Explain. What do you mean she did not fight? It just hurt. It struck a chord. It hurt so bad because we as readers, we knew what Hermione went through. It's like we were there with her. We were there with her through the war. We were there with her through the repopulation program. We were there with her when she remembered everything again. Her memories came back when she was trying to save Draco. And then all the PTSD that came afterwards once they went to live their life on the island. We saw how hard she fought when she had to. We saw how brave she had to be when she had to be. She was the glue that kept everybody together. Never got credit for it. She honestly fought more than anyone else in the story, in my opinion, and that's why I feel like the last sentence held so much weight. And it also affected me so much. It just felt so real. I felt like the story felt real. Like, these characters are real characters. They're not part of a fictional universe. They're real characters, and what happened to them, their story is real too. And I feel like that's another reason why it affected me so much, because it felt like I'm reading a history book. I'm reading about two lovers in the time of war who sacrificed for each other and sacrificed for the people they love. Like, Hermione sacrificed so much for her friends. So it really just felt like I was reading a part of history. It just felt like I was there with Hermione through everything. It just felt like I was there with her through every step, through every loss, through the grief, through the depression, through the assaults. Like, it just felt like I was there with her. And that is because of Miss Senlinyu, because she made it so. She made these fictional wizards, witches become like real people with emotions and feelings. They're not just out here with their wands shooting magic in the air. No, they're people who experience emotions. And the way Senlinyu did that is remarkable, truly astonishing. I felt like these were real people, and not many authors can do that. Not many authors can make fictional characters feel like they were actually part of our history. I definitely cried a lot. I cried a lot after the book. I think I cried for maybe 4 or 5 days after reading. It just really hit me emotionally. I felt a little silly crying over a fanfic, but you know, it's okay. It's okay to cry through different mediums, even if it's a fanfic. I mean, that's what some of these things are for, is to evoke emotions. Like, certain songs are for us to feel something. Certain movies are to move us. And same thing with certain stories, certain books, is so we can feel something. And I definitely was feeling. Oh my God. I was feeling. It also just goes to show, because Hermione never got credit for all the battles she had to fight, not just externally, but internally as well. It just goes to show that there are some battles that we all fight, and it will never come to light. No one will ever know what we actually go through. And that's why it's important to just not judge people, because we don't know what they're going through, and most importantly, we don't know what they went through. We don't know their history. We don't know what battles they had to fight. Also, after reading this, I became a clingy girlfriend. Like, I became more protective of my boyfriend. I just want him around all the time, and I don't know, I just want to like hold him a little tighter, love him a little harder. I literally am all over my boyfriend right now, and it's thanks to this fanfic, I guess. I did want to go back and reread some parts, but I just can't. I'm not in the headspace to go back and reread any scenes or even reread this fanfic. I know a lot of readers have went back and reread it, especially they went back and kind of read it in order from the time of the war, and then when Hermione loses her memories, and then the present time when she's with she's part of the repopulation program with Draco in his house. So some people kind of read it in that chronological order. I just can't go back and read this story. I really can't, and I don't think I ever will. It was a bit too much. It was a bit too much. I'm not going to lie. As much as this story was great in every sense, it was a lot, and I just can't go through it again. So I read it once. It's a done deal. It was great. It was emotional, and I really love Senlinyu's writing. I did hear she's getting published. Her book is based off of Manacled, and I'm so excited, and you best believe, I don't care how dark this fanfic was, I am picking up anything Senlinyu writes. She is such a wonderful, emotion-evoking author. And if you want to feel something, I think she will always make you feel something. I would recommend reading it if you want to feel something, because this story will make you feel a lot of things. That's my little review and just thoughts. If you have read this, please let me know. If this was your first fanfic, like it was mine, please let me know. Just let me know what your thoughts are. And if you are planning to read it, let me know. Again, if you are planning to read this, I do want to give that warning. It is dark. It is not a cute, fluffy romance. They're cute moments, but it's not a romantic story per se. It's about character's journey, if anything. It's good, but just be careful. Other than that, I will see you guys next time. Bye.